Hello, we have a special Sunday episode today. Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 153. I'm your host, Perrysburg resident Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today's episode is being released on Father's Day 2026. For many people, Father's Day is a celebration. Happy Father's Day to my own dad. However, for others, it is a reminder of someone who wasn't there. My guest today is Tramain Rayford. He's the founder and CEO of The Program Inc. It's a Northwest Ohio nonprofit organization with a simple but powerful mission: helping boys become men. During our conversation, you'll hear how the Program Inc. supports boys ages 8 through 18 through mentoring, life skills training, workshops, career exploration, and positive relationships with adult role models. You'll also hear why local volunteers, business partners, and community members play such an important role in the organization's success. Whether you're a parent, mentor, volunteer, business owner, or simply someone who cares about the next generation, this episode will give you an inside look at an organization that is making a difference in the lives of young people throughout Northwest Ohio. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Tramain Rayford. Hi, Tramain. Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast.
Hey Kim, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm over here in Perrysburg, and I know it's Father's Day as we release this. So I want to ask you, are you a father?
I am a father. I have three beautiful daughters.
Oh, you lucky guy. I never had any girls. I'm a boy mom.
Oh, I trade you.
They do have some unique experiences, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, well, I love my girls, so I love being a girl dad. I really do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, happy Father's Day to you. And I'd like to talk about your organization, the Program Inc. Can you tell me what is it?
Yeah, so the program is a nonprofit organization mentoring young boys ages 8 to 18, living in absent father homes, teaching them valuable life skills and social skills and how to deal effectively with the demands of everyday life.
I love that. I looked at your website, which is programinc.org, and
Yeah,
it says helping boys become men. Did you come up with that?
I did. It's simple and it's effective and it's truly what we're trying to do is to help young men become men. There's a saying by Douglas Wilson that says, I forget the saying, but it says something, what boys don't learn, men will never know. What boys don't learn, men will never know. And I just love that quote, and we infuse it into everything that we do is to teach a young boy now just the characteristics and attributes of how to be accountable and how to be compassionate and how to be a true compassionate man. Teaching them those values right now and not waiting until they're 30 and 40 and 50 years old to talk about manhood.
I've noticed that you focus on the 8 to 18 crowd. And speaking of quotes, I saw on your website that you have this great Frederick Douglass quote. It says, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." So powerful.
So powerful. One of my favorite, absolute favorite quotes because so true. It's so true. If we can repair these young men right now, it's less to do when they're adults. So many young men, and I would like to say the number close to 85% of those in absent father homes suffer from some sort of behavioral abuse. But I would like to say close to 100% of boys in absent father homes suffer some sort of trauma of a dad or a positive male role model not being in the home. And to not do anything until they're an adult, right? To not do anything about the trauma that exists when a kid is longing for the affection, the attention, longing for the conversations, the attaboys, the hugs and the high fives from a dad, right? And to not do anything until age 18. That that right there to me screams some sort of illness has an opportunity to happen. But when we can come in at an early age to be that positive role model and be that voice in their ear and in their lives, that attaboy, that we love you, we're here for you, we're not going anywhere, mixed with experiences that they will never forget. We are doing that Fredless Douglass quote in real time. Yes, I love that quote.
Awesome. How did you take an interest in helping fatherless boys?
It was me growing up. My dad wasn't around. I didn't see my dad before I saw my dad 4 or 5 times before the age of, I think I was 17 and a half, and I had just waken up out of a coma. I was in a coma for 2.5 months, and my dad came around, and I wasn't mad at him. I didn't really care why he wasn't around. I was more along the lines of, now that you're here, you got work to do, and let's build a friendship. Let's build, a relationship between both of us. And throughout that, years later, I developed a program for kids that were just like me, longing for a dad. I had mentors in my life. I had a grandfather and guys at church, and right, but I didn't have a dad that was there consistently to just show me, how it is to be a man, and to keep me on the right trajectory of life. So that is where my heart kind of pulled towards young men at absent father homes.
What I hear is that you wanted to help your former self.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I see myself in every single kid that we help. I see a little Tremaine, and it keeps me rooted. It keeps me there for the right reason. It keeps me, I go through with withdrawals. You can ask my wife. I go through withdrawal when I don't, when I'm not around my kids, my boys. I would say it helps me more than it even helps them, because it's what I needed when I was young, and being able to give it back, it really, truly helps me.
I've heard the phrases generational trauma and generational healing. What do
Yeah.
those terms mean to you? Generational trauma first.
Generational trauma to me, it just means something almost like um, epigenetics. When a trauma happens to one individual, how it gets passed on through each generation. I see that with fatherlessness, as a lot of our kids. I had a grandfather who stepped in. A lot of our kids don't have that second generational father. So now grandma didn't have a father, right? And now grandma has daughter, daughter has child. You have 3 generations without any male intervention, right? And now you're passing down that trauma or lifestyle to now 3 to 4 generations without any male intervention. And I see the same thing as for those that do have dads. My grandfather, who was very present in not only his kids' lives, but my lives, lives, kids at church, and all that stuff. And him and my grandmother have been married probably 60 something years. I don't know, but a long time. But I say that to say his children are married, right? Their children are becoming married. Their children are becoming, so it's becoming this, this is what we expect. This is the standard. We don't go out and just have children just to have children. It's a covenant thing that we place before we jump off into just having kids without the intent for marriage. So marriage is important to me and important to my wife and my family. Um, and I think that's the part of the generational blessing, is to having a standard for your children and your grandchildren. So I think that's how it comes about for me.
Thank you for talking about how you see the world.
Yeah.
The generational trauma, I'm going to tell you from like my experience, I come from farm people and
Mm,
especially on my mom's side, and they grew up poor and hungry, you
yeah.
know? And because of that, my mom grew up with almost like a scarcity mindset. And I know sometimes she listens to the podcast. So sorry, mom, I'm talking about you. But then they pass that down. They make you feel like you never have enough. And if you
Yeah.
do have money, you got to be real careful about how you spend it. And
Yeah.
that's been a generational trauma for me. And what you
Yeah.
were talking about was you've experienced generational trauma in that there's some fatherlessness in your path of your generations. So your dad wasn't there for you until you were 17 and a half and waking up from a coma. And so you see what I'm saying? But then I feel like you are supporting generational healing in that you're trying to help your participants in your program experience what it's like to have a father, even
Yeah,
though their natural father is not exactly there for them. Would that
right.
be a fair comparison?
Yeah, that's you put it in perfect terms. Yeah,
Cool.
perfect.
I think the next thing that I want to know is what is the program like? What do you do? Like, what's a month look like for the program?
Each month we have 3 or 4 activities. We are separated into 3 different categories. So the program has a division that is, we call it the peer lead. It's 13 and up. That's career exploration. We do tours, we do workshops, we do everything from firearm safety training to kayaking on boats. We do all that stuff. And then we have the Gemini group, which is age 10 to 12, which is new this year. Uh, those boys, those ages didn't want to be around kids that are 8 years old and 9 years old. So we had to create a group specifically for the 10 and 12. So we are developing a curriculum right now geared towards those kids, doing workshops for them. They get to go laser tag, go karting, rollerblading, all kinds of activities specifically for them. And then we have the 8 and 9 year olds, and they get to do like the ancillary events that we have. We are doing mountain climbing type of exercise this weekend, and they get to come along with that. And that age, we're pretty much trying to develop relational equity with the kids. So it's very ancillary type of events that they get to do. We have a once a month peer lead session, a once a month Gemini session, and then we also have like once a month either event or workshop for everyone. We do get a lot of phone calls saying, "Hey, can we do this for you? Can you do that?" We got Mud Hens tickets, or we got Walleye tickets, or we got this. So the standard is 3 times a month, but it often ends up being 4 or 5, up to 6 meetings a month that we offer. So, and a lot of our meetings we do group mentoring, so everything is like in groups and not necessarily one on one. Um, just at the capacity that we are at, it's easier to do a group mentoring session than to do one on one. We don't have enough mentors to do one on one. So it's a group setting, doing the workshops that we offer from financial literacy to we just did a workshop on how to deal with anger. So anger workshop, we had 2 clinical psychologists come in, talk to our boys. One talked to our boys, other ones talked to the moms about how what tools do you need and how to deal with anger, what happens when you get angry, right? Because we all know crime, drugs, bad decisions happen when we get angry, when we don't have the right tools, and bad decisions can lead us places where we don't want to be. So through our many workshops we're able to do things like that, and that's typically what happens throughout a month.
It sounds like you have activities and then you have volunteers that step in as role models, kind of like father figures, right?
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot of great volunteers that jump in and step in and help with the workshops, and a lot of them we do offer a consent form that allows volunteer to. We got volunteers showing up at games and do the one-on-one. That's able to happen through a consent form. So we do have it, but it's just a consent form thing that happens. That volunteers are going to football games, baseball games, basketball, wrestling games, all that stuff. It's really cool. So yeah, I love our volunteers, and we got a great team.
Awesome. I noticed that you said something about you don't always have one on one pairing. And is that a bad thing? Are you looking for volunteers? Tell me about the volunteers.
Yeah, we would love to have more volunteers. We would love to do the one-on-one mentoring, but our capacity is just we actually have a wait list of about 160 kids waiting to get into the organization. So we do not have enough guys, male mentors to carry that load. So what we do is we have the workshops where there's 5 or 6 guys, and then those 5 or 6 guys are we have a strategy that we use for our mentors to get involved with the kids, and it's more one on three, we would say, like, one guy kind of working with three kids, stuff like that. And then we mix it up throughout the workshop so that that one volunteer is exposed to all of our kids by the end of the year. They know their names. They know what they love to do. They know that Timmy doesn't like mustard. They know that, all these things. And, these kids really love that someone takes time to let them know that they're valuable, to let them know that I see you, and to let them know that you're a great kid and I'm here because I want to be, and I'm here because I want to invest in you and you're worth the investment. Yeah, so we would love to have, I would take 10 volunteers right now and put them all to work. We definitely need volunteers.
Hey, that's a good call to action for my audience. There may be some father type figures here in Perrysburg that would like to volunteer. So,
Yeah.
can they just go to the website, programinc.org, and volunteer through that?
Yeah, you can go to the website. There's a volunteer application there. Once that is completed, someone will reach out and then they will set up a meeting, an interview with you. And then from the interview, there's a training that's state mandated. We have to do a training, and background check has to be on file as well. But it's pretty much, we try to make it as seamless as possible for get volunteers involved. And then we have a once a quarter attendance policy. So like you have to attend at least bare minimum once a quarter so that our kids can at least recognize you in the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? And then not be like, stranger danger type of thing. But yeah, so that you can just build rapport with our kids.
Okay. And speaking of your kids, are they only from Toledo or where are they from?
We've got kids from Temperance. We've got kids from south of Bowling Green. Did I say Temperance? Temperance, Toledo, Waterville. We've had kids in Napoleon. We've had kids apply from Gibsonburg. So it's really just Northwest Ohio. We got one kid comes from Bratner all the time. So we got kids pretty much everywhere coming, Northwest Ohio, coming to our program.
Okay, wow, that's really inclusive of Northwest Ohio. I know some of
Yeah.
those tiny towns like Gibsonburg. I grew up in Pemberville, and Gibsonburg's not too far away. How about Perrysburg? If there's anybody in Perrysburg that needs your services or mommy,
Yeah. Perrysburg, Mommy, we got kids in there literally everywhere. And we have our volunteers, same way. Toledo, we got volunteers from Sylvania. We got volunteers from Perrysburg, volunteers from White House and Waterville. So we've got volunteers coming from all across the Northwest Ohio region to participate in what we got going on.
awesome. Well, that sounds like a success. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you. And then you were talking about workshops. Can you tell me a little bit about those? I mean, do you partner with businesses or individuals? Tell me a little bit more about workshops.
We love to partner with workshops. We partner with the University of Toledo Financial Counselors organization, and they came in and they did a budgeting assessment. They talked about financial literacy. They talked about smart spending and things like that. We have some more financial literacy stuff coming up with Directions Credit Union. We've done tours most recently with the Oregon Fire Department, where kids got to tour their new facility and hear about the opportunities not only career wise, but the opportunities in the community from the fire department and the things that the fire department offers. We've done a number of other events and workshops. We've done the flying thing where we take kids in airplanes and the kids fly.
Not commercial aircraft, right? These are hobby aircraft?
Yes. Hobby aircraft, they're not flying Delta Airlines or Spirit Airlines or anything like that. But they got to fly, and that was because a group of pilots got together and they said, "Hey, we want to do this," and that's what helps and adds value to the organization. Every single kid there was impacted, and it was probably the most impacting thing that we have done to date over the 9-year tenure that we've been out here was that workshop where one of the kids he didn't want to fly. He was like, I'm not going in there. I'm not going up there. And one of the volunteers talked to him. He was at the airplane simulator, and the volunteer was like, "Man, this is boring. This is computer monitors with a steering wheel. Go sit in a real airplane." And then he's like, okay. He sat in a real airplane. And then the pilot's like, we're just sitting here. Can we just drive around? And the kid's like, okay. His name's Kingston. He's from Portage. So he's like, okay. So Glenn, the pilot, starts moving around. He's like, can we go up a little bit? We're just driving around an airplane. Come on, let's go up a little bit. And Kingston's like, okay. And the Kingston is like 6 feet is a little bit. To the pilot, he's like 2,500 feet is a little bit. So they go up, and then Kingston's like, oh no, I want to go down. Like take me down. And then Glenn's like, why do you want to go down? And then Kingston's like, I'm afraid. And Glenn lands the plane, and Glenn goes, hey, I just want you to know, I want to congratulate you on today, um, for doing something afraid. He said, because all throughout your life, you're going to have obstacles that arise. And unfortunately, you're going to have to do them afraid. But when you do them, I want you to look back on today as a celebration of you doing something afraid. I have to tell that story because to me, it's, yeah, he's talking to a 12-year-old kid, right? Then, but when I tell that story, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to adults. Like, we still have to do things afraid. And to be taught that lesson at 12 years old, doing something afraid, and that you're always going to have something to do afraid. But I want you to look at it as a celebration that, hey, I was afraid and I still did it. I wish I wish I had a programming when I was a kid. But this is the type of motivation that I get when we're doing workshops and events and things like this that keeps me going on because they're getting top of the grade type of advice from real life individuals that have been through it. And it's amazing to watch in real time. So yeah, doing things afraid.
I love that story, and you told it so well. It
Yeah.
reminds me of that phrase, "choose your hard," I think is the
Yeah.
phrase. So,
Yep.
there's a lot of hard things in life, and sometimes you can diminish it a little bit and do it the easy way, but if you can do it the hard way, you're gonna be stronger for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I use that with my interns and with like people that I run to every day. Like, just you will never know what's on the other side of that hard. Kingston got off that airplane, just he loved it. We recorded him and he talked about it, but we never know what's on the other side of that fear, right? And oftentimes on the other side of that fear, it's bliss. It's something that, like, oh my goodness, I waited my entire life to do this, and this is what's on the other end. Why didn't I do this a long time ago? So that's the secret weapon I think that a lot of kids need to kind of like take and hold that right now and say, hey, I'm afraid to do it, but I'm gonna go for it because I know 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be something that I either fall in love with or something that's gonna make me a better person on the other side.
Yes, that, and they didn't go through it alone, they had a
Yes.
mentor, they had a volunteer, they had a role model.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. You're not alone, especially in the program.
Yes. When we were talking off mic before I pressed record, you were talking about how important these business partners and volunteers are to the program Inc. And you were talking about how it's a great opportunity to expose your participants to what's possible so they can experience local career paths, hobbies, and other things. So, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Being exposed to what is here local, right? Opportunities that exist right here in Northwest Ohio allows our kids to see that, hey, I don't have to go to New York. I don't have to go to Florida. I don't have to go to Texas or LA to get a great job or have a career or to do anything like that. A lot of times kids narrow their focus because of their environment. We had a kid who, when I asked him like what he wanted to be when he grew up, he said, I want to work at Burger King. And I was like, I said, I like the Whopper, right? Everybody likes a Whopper every now and then. The breakfast sandwich, like, oh my goodness, the croissant. And I was like, why do you want to work at Burger King? And he goes, my mom works at Burger King. So I asked the question. I said, well, does your mom like working at Burger King? And he's like, I don't know. I said, well, why would you want to work somewhere if your mom doesn't like working there? And if you do want to work there, do you know that you can own a Burger King? Right? It's not necessarily, and it had never crossed his mind that he could own a Burger King. It's because he hasn't been exposed to more of the opportunities that exist. here locally. So we've been touring places, we've been talking about job opportunities, we've been talking about resumes, handshakes. We did a mock interview. Well, we thought it was a mock interview, but they changed it up on us. We went to Chick-fil-A and they did a mock interview. They interviewed 11 of our boys. At the end of that interview, all 11 were offered a job because of how well they done.
Awesome.
It, they only had like 4 or 5 positions available. They were like, "Hey, when these other positions come available, we will email you and let you know. But we're offering you guys an opportunity." The 4 that got the job, um, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. I think out of the 4, I think 2 of them are still at Chick-fil-A. Like, and to me, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes because if we have never taught them how to do a resume, if we have never taught them how to conduct themselves in an interview or how to shake a hand properly or eye contact or any of these things, they wouldn't have landed that position. Chick-fil-A isn't an easy place to get a job at, or maintain, so to have for these boys to get a job there and to still be involved there, it just speaks volumes to the prep work that we've done, but also Chick-fil-A opening their doors and saying, "Hey, we would love to have you guys come in." And there's other opportunities that companies said, "Hey, let's do a tour. Let's walk around. Let's show you our facility or the things that we do that exist here." And then you can apply or you can just share with a friend that this company supports the programming. So yeah, businesses and corporations, we love to partner with them. And as far as workshops, yeah, call us, email us. We'll come during the week, on a weekend, show us what you do, and hopefully a kid can fall in love and be one of your engineers or work in your facility and be one of your managers or leaders, something like that in the next 15 years. Who knows?
Okay, I gotta ask, since you're kind of throwing it out there, who do you hope will respond after hearing that? Is there somebody that's like I call it a white whale?
I see. I don't. To me, every individual is by itself a opportunity, right? So yes, Big Will, Promedica, come in, fund us, take over. We just, all that great stuff, whatever. However, there are family practitioners or chiropractors or mom and pop shops that one of our kids can come to and say, "Hey, I like the feel of this. This is what I want to do. I want to work for you." And not necessarily, and nothing against Promedica. We love Promedica. We love everyone here investing in our community. But just because you're a small mom and pop doesn't mean you don't add value, right? You could change a kid's life. And to me, it's about the one. It's not about the whole group. It's about interdependently each kid being a successful story. So if you're a mom and pop, we will love to partner. If you're a Fortune 500, we'll love to partner. It doesn't matter. I don't have a white whale. Maybe that's something I could put on my bucket list. Is just find a white whale and partner with them. But yeah, it's for me. It's relative. Each kid has different likes and different backgrounds, and one can reach one that another one couldn't. So I'm open for all.
Okay, you're just hoping for a variety. I feel
Yes,
like that's what you're saying.
yes, yeah. A variety of experiences to help our kids figure out what they want to do in life and or fall in love with a passion that could possibly benefit the whole community.
I love what you were talking about with the Burger King story just a little bit ago. And thinking local first is really important because, like you were saying, kids do not have to leave Northwest Ohio to find a valuable job and to provide a valuable service. And there's another phrase. I know we're speaking in cliches and quotes and all kinds of stuff today, but there's this quote out there, or this cliche: "Grow where you're planted." And I feel
Yes.
like you're really encouraging the participants in the program to grow where they're planted, grow here in Northwest Ohio.
100%. I mean, we need it. And Toledo's a beautiful place. We have a nationally recognized art museum, a nationally recognized zoo, a nationally recognized metro park, nationally recognized library. Like we have all these nationally recognized places with the affordable living that we have. We have the mud hens, we have the walleye, we have so many amazing things here. Look, why would you want to move? Yeah, I know it snows in July, right? we don't. The weather is completely undetermined. We don't know what we're going to get, but we have so many amenities here locally that, to me, is the perfect place to invest. It's a perfect place to throw your seeds out. It's a perfect place to get a job and raise a family and be a part of the change, because the change is coming, especially for Toledo. A lot of great things are coming in the near future, and we have the opportunity to be a part of it. So I'm a big advocate for Toledo, and I'm a big advocate for our kids staying local.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I love Toledo. Sometimes I look at it and I think, Toledo and Chicago are not that different. It's just
Yeah,
one grew like crazy and the other one is still waiting to grow. So I'm with you. My eyes are on Toledo. I think it's a great place to be. I love Toledo.
yeah. Toledo is everyone talks, not everyone, but a lot of people talk bad about Toledo, but I don't think they understand what all Toledo encompass, right? How many wonderful opportunities we have here locally. And I think that's the only way you can talk bad about it if you haven't been to a walleye game. Have you been to a walleye game? Like that right there would change your mind about Toledo just by a walleye game. Yeah, we got so many awesome things going on in Toledo, and I'm a huge advocate, and I, I I just love, and I don't even live in Toledo. I live in Miami, and I still I still love Toledo. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a huge advocate, and we need to grow where we're planted. And I think and it starts with our kids.
Yes, there's a lot of opportunity to help young men in Northwest Ohio with the Program Inc. Now, do you just call it the program or do you refer to it as the Program Inc.?
I try to stop at the program, but I always say like the programming because I don't know. It just comes out like accidentally. It's just like programming, programming, programming. So, but the program, some people just say program. I say the programming. It doesn't matter. We're all doing the same work.
All right. And this is your full time job, right?
It is. It is. Yep. I was bivocational for 7 years doing this, and then 2 years ago made the leap to go full time. It was just outgrowing. I couldn't manage working and doing this at the same time anymore. So I jumped and went full time, and we've grown. In the first year, we grew 20% just by me going full time. And last year, I haven't even did the data on how much we've grown, but last year we brought on 33 new partners with the organization. So we have a lot of partners for space, partner for donors, volunteers, you name it. We've touring, stuff like that. Brought in 33 partners last year. So yeah, we're a rolling ball of fire.
All right. Congratulations on your success. What's the year that it started?
So we started, and I believe it was 2016 before we got our 501 years later. I was doing the work, and I think I was doing work for a couple of years, and in 2018 we got our 501(c)(3). So yeah, doing the work, changing lives, and it just evolved into us developing an organization. I still talk to my original boys. One just got his CDL, and he's going back for nursing school. And I was like, dude, don't you have to? Don't you want to do that career before you're going to be like a traveling nurse? Like, what's going on? But yeah, he wants to be a truck driver and a nurse. Another one is married with kids. Another one, he is a semi football player. And then the third one, I haven't had contact with the last one, but I think he's doing good. He had his dad around, so I'm pretty sure he's doing pretty good. But all the boys are doing great, and I'm proud of them.
Those success stories are fuel. That makes you want to do it more, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and to still stay in contact and still, they're adults. And Tyler, he's one of the kids. He's just had his first child, and it's just, I don't know, just getting to watch them grow up and like to overcome the obstacles that life throws at them is amazing. And we weren't set up to where we are now. Now I can get you a job. Now it's like, what do you want to do? Let me call this person. Let me call that person. Let me call this person. Back then, it was just like, hey, let's learn how to shake a hand. Let's learn how to, because you're going to need it someday. And now, I mean, they're great kids right now. So, or great men right now.
Grown men. It sounds like some of them fathers themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's generational healing too, for you to see them, move forward and be in their own children's lives.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's shocking because you feel like a grandpa. It's like, wait a minute, like, whoa, I feel like a grandpa, But yeah, I'm proud of every single last one of them, because they could have ended up somewhere else, and of course we did some work, but they made the decisions, right? Our job is to present the opportunities. They have an opportunity to make the decision. I can't make them do anything. I can advise them, and they choose. They make the decision. So I always celebrate them and the decisions that they make and the hard work that they put in. I just present the opportunity. So um, I congratulate them for all the decisions, and I'm so proud of them. And I'm their biggest cheerleaders. So I'm happy for them and the kids that we have now. I'm happy for them. One of our boys just graduated yesterday from Oregon High School or Clay High School. And I'm excited for him. He's a great young man. We got him a job at the YMCA. So he's been working there for a couple years, and now he's starting a career. He's starting a life, and he's starting to be a man. So I'm happy to just be a chapter in his life.
I wish everybody listening to this could see the smile on your face. You are like a proud papa for sure.
It's really rewarding when kids listen, and they not only listen but they do. Right? I got kids. I tell my daughter, "Hey, go clean your room. Go upstairs. Go clean your room." I'll go. She'll be upstairs, but she won't be cleaning her room. You know what I'm saying? Like she would do like half of what I tell her to do. These kids and these boys on the other side, like we preach and we tell them and we tell them and we tell them, hey, you don't want to do drugs. Drugs are always going to be there. Girls, they're always going to be there. But the opportunity to learn and to invest in yourself is not always going to be there. It's going to get harder. You're not going to have the time to invest in yourself. You're going to have to work, and then you have to cut grass or do whatever. Invest in yourself now. Don't worry about the girls or the drugs or the money or nothing like that. Invest in you. And to watch that come into fruition for a lot of these kids is just like, he listened. I wish I would have listened when I was a kid. That's why I'm telling these kids so that they will listen and that they can put themselves in a better position than what I put myself in. And I ended up great, right? Beautiful home, wonderful wife, wonderful family. But had I listened to some of my mentors, I think I could be 10 years further than where I'm at right now. Or I could have acquired this 10 years before I did.
That's powerful wisdom.
Yeah.
You are wise. Well, this has been a very inspiring conversation for sure. And thank you for sharing all of your successes, but also some of your personal challenges and how Perrysburg can help you. So, just to review, you could use more volunteers.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about donating, but you could straight up donate on the website, correct?
Yeah, you can donate, you can give. We do not take, we get asked this question a lot. People have articles of clothing that they want to give. We would like to give, but we don't have a place to store it. And my wife isn't allowing me to take any more things. So if you do have articles of clothing, there are other organizations that will take some of those things. Some of the things that we will probably take is hygiene products and things like that. If you want to physically donate something, other than that, monetary giving is probably the way to go.
Monetary giving. Okay. So volunteers,
Yep.
funding, and
Yep.
business partners to expose your participants to the local career paths, right?
Yes. Yep.
Individuals or business partners.
Yep. That would work. That would be amazing, having our kids exposed to some things and exposed to some different skills or opportunities that they can pursue.
Awesome. Well, thank you for recapping that with me. And speaking of recaps, just so the audience knows, Tremaine and I originally met in January. I had done
Yep.
a podcast episode for the Perrysburg podcast, and it was about ways to give back in and around Perrysburg. I looked up the episode number. I believe it was episode 127, Ways to Give Back in and Around Perrysburg. And I heard about the program Inc. So I mentioned it on that podcast episode, but it really called to me. I was like, there might be something really good in there for a Father's Day episode to
Yeah.
just shine a light on something that's really excellent that's going on here in Northwest Ohio. So I feel like I had a full circle moment today. Thank you so
Oh,
much for being here on the Perrysburg podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to share as we wrap this up?
we're doing this together. This isn't just the programming. The programming is a reflection of the community that supports it. So we are a reflection of everyone that's involved, whether you like, share, follow, advocate, donate, volunteer. What we are a reflection of everyone that's involved with the program, and we would love to have you on our team. So thank you for having us, and happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Thanks again.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see you again.
Bye. That's it for my interview with Tramain Rayford, founder and CEO of the Program Inc. Thanks again to Tremaine for being my guest. One thing that really stood out to me during this conversation is how much of a difference one caring adult can make in a young person's life. Whether it's a parent, a grandparent, a coach, teacher, mentor, neighbor, volunteer, or other role model, positive relationships matter. If you would like to learn more about the Program Inc., or volunteer, donate, or become a business partner, you'll find links in the show notes on perrysburgpodcast.com. If you know someone who would enjoy this episode, share it with them. And if you like this podcast, subscribe to or follow the Perrysburg Podcast on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube so you never miss an episode. Since this episode is being released on Father's Day, I'd like to wish all of the dads, grandpas, stepdads, and other father figures listening today a very happy Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to my dad. Thank you very much for listening today, and I'll talk to you on Friday.